Is it ready?
It's ready.
Alright. So, first, say your first name and what school you go to school at.
My name is
Go like,
Gavin.
hello, I'm Gavin.
Yeah,
I'm really
okay,
cool.
this-
And
Bro,
I'm a junior at.
it's recording.
Well, just say that. Just repeat what I said, but like without the.
Okay. Alright, I need to.
And then say
Hello,
Gavin Villareal.
my name. Hello,
And then
my
say
name.
I'm a junior
Yeah,
at
I'm trying.
your school.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Hello, my name is Gavin, and I'm a junior in high school. I go to.
Bro, you forgot to say your last name. You're supposed to say your full name.
Fine. Okay. Hello, my
I'm
name
Gavin
is.
Valentino
Okay.
Villareal.
Can I say it?
And I am really cool.
Okay. Hello, my name is Gavin Villareal, and I'm a junior in high school, and I go to Wapton High School in Wapton, North Dakota, and I'm really cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, I have to be quiet. Okay.
Oh yeah. And I'm Carter Phillips. So Gavin, I've got a couple questions for you.
Alright, who do?
Why do you think people create, and like, what do you think the impetus for creation is?
Why do people create?
Yeah.
Well, I can go for like many different like ways. I mean, I guess people create. I guess they can create to entertain. It depends on what they're creating, and they can also create to not entertain.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is true.
Creation could mean anything. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Either way.
Look at me having sex.
Alright.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a person creative?
I think what makes a person creative is when they are they have a unique idea that isn't too similar to others. Like, I know how people get their creativity. Sometimes they get it from other people, but you know, I feel like being really creative would be having your own main idea when it comes down to, like, you know, I guess you could say movies and shows and stuff like that. You know, this is a quick example of that.
That's facts right there. Do you think that having a unique voice and a unique way of doing things makes you better?
Yes, I do, because I feel like some people, when they make, like, I guess you could say short stories or things like that, when it involves any kind of story, I feel like there's people who make it just so they can get popular, or people who actually put time and effort into it, and therefore making, you know, creative stories, which, you know, is better for them in the end.
Yeah, because it's like when you speak with your heart, it comes out genuine, and it really feels like you care, and people can relate to it then. Next question. What? What did you say?
I said,
how big is your cock? I hope he's not going to have me listen to this in front of him.
That'd be so funny.
He's just sitting there with me, and he just hears this part of the video.
Okay. Alright, ask me the next question. Alright.
Why do you think people share their creations?
I feel like people share their creation. Oh, fuck. What? Alright, ask the question again. Okay. 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 Alright, ask the question.
Why do you think people share their creations?
I feel like people share their creations. I mean, wait, didn't you ask that earlier?
No, I just asked that just now.
No, but earlier I thought you asked, why do people make the creation?
Yes, Daddy.
Aiden, be quiet.
But I'm asking why they share it.
Oh, okay.
Aiden. Okay. people share creations, I guess, maybe influence other people, I guess you could say. They basically create to influence, or, I can go back to earlier when I was saying entertain, or, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
or to, like, better benefit the people when it comes to other, like, creations, like, for any type.
Fuck.
Uh,
Aiden, actually. Jesus Christ. Okay.
what problems have arisen or do usually arise when you're making a movie?
Many problems that arise when you're making a movie is usually, like, I guess, directing. I guess, I mean, I'm not really a director myself, but I do know a thing or two about it. So, I know the trouble it is to, like, shoot and film and, like, oh, do it again, do it again. That's a big struggle when it comes to filming and, you know shows and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. Um, since it's a collaborative effort, how does working with others change the end product of the movie?
I feel like working with others could, like, it would change the end product of, like, a movie, like, a better way, because you're having more than one person direct it, and therefore you guys have better ideas and, like, more ideas. So, like, for example, if you had one idea and I had another, you're not just going off your own ideas. It's better to have more creative minds working on a big creative project.
Yeah. Because then all of these ideas can kind of be harnessed together to create one big idea.
Yep.
And sometimes all of it works in kind of subconscious ways, and all of these ideas come together to create this grand image of who we are.
Yeah.
Of who we are, and sometimes it happens without us even realizing it until later.
That's true.
This is what that represents.
Yeah.
And because it all comes from, if it comes from the heart, it becomes true. There's
Exactly.
truth to it.
That's what makes it more creative.
Yeah. What's your ultimate goal in cinema?
My ultimate goal is to, I would say, to make an entertaining yet pleasantful piece of art, you could say,
Yeah.
Something that people would appreciate and enjoy, I guess.
How do you think you could get them to appreciate and enjoy it? Like, what do you think about a great piece of cinema? What do you think makes it great?
I feel like what makes a great piece is a story that has, an interesting beginning and end. You gotta have a good story in order to make a good film. Without a good story, the film's not going to be as good. So, the better the story itself, the better the film will be.
What do you think makes a great story?
I feel like what makes a great story would be, like, character and, development, and, having some action-packed moments or things like that end up changing the plots and, different ways that others, like the audience itself, wouldn't expect. I feel like that makes an amazing movie and / story.
Yeah, and if we put in Aiden's cock.
You already know.
Yeah. Also, just a brief kind of formal question. What movies and what genres have you worked in?
Okay, I worked in, like, horror, I guess you could say mystery, kind of like, I wouldn't say crime, but I mean, I guess you could somehow tie that up with that.
I would agree, yeah.
I know there's more genres. I can't really think of much right now at the moment, but basically stuff like that, horror and all that. It's mainly, like, a scary themes I've been working on, stuff like that.
Yeah, and which specific? Just name the 2 films that you've done with me. Well, the one that we're working on, and then the one that we already
They Came
finished.
from the Attic. That was an amazing film. I'd love to work on. That was amazing. That was fun. I mean, of course, I didn't get as much to work on with that, but still fun to make. Nevertheless. Um, and then sometime after midnight, we're working on that. That's gonna be incredible. I can't wait to start filming. Honestly, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. Can't wait to continue working on that.
I know, right? And how do you think experiences in your life could have maybe influenced different things in the movies?
I feel like if you have better or like, I guess you say better or worse life experiences, it can end up like changing the movie by, I guess you could say, you could have better acting, I guess, because like what the character is like going through when they're acting through the movie, or you have more emotion, things like that.
Yeah. And what do you usually do in a production of one of your movies?
Well, usually I'm an actor and I help act, but in the one we're working on right now, helping direct a little bit too. So, it's pretty fun. Gotta say, it's pretty fun working with you. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. It is fun working with me.
In bed.
How do people act differently when they're shooting opposed to when they're just hanging out with friends? Because we do it with friends, so like,
I feel
how's
like
it different?
okay, so I feel like even when you're shooting and like just hanging out, you still are like having a good time. You're still like you could say hanging out, but like doing something. And usually when you're doing that something is more serious. But like we all still have a good time. We all still laugh. All that fun stuff.
Yeah. Does working with friends in the film make it better or worse, do you think?
I feel like it could make. I feel like for us, it makes it better because we know each other, and it's easier to act for like different things and stuff like that. We know each other's like, I guess, set of emotions and all that. So it's easier for us to like have a role that that we would best play in, depending on the character itself.
Yeah, I also think because like we know each other's life experiences
life
and what each other's been through.
Exactly.
So like we know how to use that to help explain a scene.
Yep.
And also I think people work better when they're getting along too.
Yeah.
When they
exactly.
are having a good time. And how long would you say it takes to film an average scene with me?
An average scene? Well, we're not messing around. Probably get like a normal scene done in like maybe half an hour if we're lucky enough.
Yeah, that's true.
But really just depends how long the scenes are. But usually, yeah, about half an hour.
Yeah, about a half an hour for like the short scenes.
Yeah.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we went onto the forest, it took 2 hours to get done.
Yeah, that's true.
That took so long. Because I remember my back like aching after we got back.
It was. I would say it was fun there, but like going to the location was a challenge.
I remember that day. It was really fun to do, but it was also very exhausting because we had to do. That was I think the first day we had to worry about getting good audio.
Yeah.
And then we were also out in the middle of a forest, and it was like it felt like it was 90 degrees out there.
Yeah.
And we didn't bring any water or food because we're retarded.
we were just dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. I think as long as I like put a beep sound over the swear words, we'll be fine. By the way. So
cool.
I think if you want to swear, it'll be fine. I'll just like edit it.
Okay.
So you can like talk about whatever you want.
All right.
Do you have any fun stories you'd like to say about making a movie?
Fun stories?
Wait, Kevin, wouldn't that be funny if like I was asking you these questions and then like halfway through I just started hearing Bob's voice responding, pretending to be you?
Bro, so what's your life experiences? Yeah, so
I have so many more life experiences.
I have way more life experiences. Bro, Bob's a bitch, not gonna lie. Okay. Oh my god. Bro. What was the question again?
The question is, do you have any like interesting stories you could tell about making some of our movies?
I gotta say, like for some scenes where you have to use blood, I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty interesting. Sorry, it's really interesting doing that stuff. I mean, it's really creative, though. I gotta say, you know.
Do you want to tell a story about me getting the blood in my eye?
So me and Carter were doing this one scene where I would get, I would pour down blood, not cum, but blood.
Oh, you should have just did.
And then I'll just like pour it like on his face, and I'll just get a shot of it like on his face, like when I'm like sucking on it. No, I'm kidding. When I'm on his face, I mean when it's on its face. So. So we're doing that, and we end up.
Yeah, but I should edit it so that when you say blood, I just edit the part where you say cum. we were pouring cum onto Carter's face.
That would be so funny, bro.
Wait, okay. Restart the whole story because I think we ruined it. It's too much to edit now.
Okay. Alright, okay. Ask me the question again.
So, do you have it? I'll just talk about the blood scene.
Okay.
How it was filming that, and then like mention the three. Well, actually, we had. Did we have? Was Aiden there that day?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just talk about who was there and like what happened.
Okay. So during that scene, I was there, and Aiden was there, and Tucker was there. We're all getting ready to film and all that stuff. And we had to do the scene where we had to pour blood on Carter's face, but like the blood was like some weird like what was it, like Kool-Aid mix or some stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like Kool-Aid, yeah.
But like it stained my shirt permanently, so whatever.
Oh, Crystal Light. It was Crystal Light, Kevin.
Crystal Light, actually. I can't even remember that stuff.
Yeah, it was Crystal Light. It was the fruit punch Crystal Light.
Yeah, crystal meth. But anyway, so we had to do that. We had to pour it on your face. And yeah, I ended up getting in your eye. It was
Bro, I remember we watched a movie. We watched Hereditary.
Yep.
I remember throughout the whole movie, I could smell it in my nose because it got all in my nose, and it was like going down the back of my throat.
Bring your dick.
Oh, what about the story with the guy in the forest?
What was that story again?
Bro, I remember when it happened. You were like, "Bro, during the special features, we could like talk about it when we're famous."
Oh,
the guy in the forest, bro. Remember, it was it was during September. We were on a call with Bob.
Oh, is that when we went to that one place?
Yeah, we heard that guy walking around. It was crazy.
I guess I could talk about it, yeah. I mean, when you heard it...
Yeah, just explain what happened.
So, me and you, or silly billies we are, we're on the call with Bob. Wait, was it during we were in the forest? I can't remember.
Yeah, we were in the forest and we were on the call with him.
Yeah, it was during the call with Bob where we were recording... We're recording some scenes and all that, and we end up hearing footsteps, and we're like, what the hell? And then we could just hear like some guy just walking around in the forest. It was so weird. I don't know if Bob heard it though, which is yes, makes sense, but I definitely
remember we said, Bob, did you hear that? And he said no, and then he hung up and left us.
Yeah. No, I do remember that though. That was so weird. Like, what's someone doing? Like, what? And it was late too.
Yeah, and then we said, is someone there? And they didn't respond.
It was late too.
He just kept walking around.
Bro, who is it, bro?
Looking back on it, that was actually kind of terrifying. Because it was pitch black too.
It was so late.
Yeah.
And we'd even like leave right away after that. We just like kept like staying there, bro. Honestly, now I look back at that, we were pretty dumb, not gonna lie.
Yeah, we were pretty dumb. That was terrifying. we eventually did move away from the guy,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I don't even know.
that was pretty stupid.
it was. Alright.
Yeah. Also, I can't remember what I was gonna say. You gotta explain who Bob is now because
Oh.
you mentioned
Okay,
Bob, but you didn't explain who
So-
he was. Dumbass! How dare you!
Bob is he's a cousin of mine, and
Bob is a male stripper, I know.
he's a male stripper with Ryan. Okay. Bob is a cousin of mine, and his name is Bob, so make sure you all call him Bob, and he helps
yeah.
film and stuff like that with us
He's
sometimes,
really
unless he's working at his Burger King with his Burger Queen doing his stuff. But yeah, that's Bob.
Yeah.
what's your match?
I want to be Bob's Burger Queen, but
Yeah, you do.
Oh yeah. Addie, get out of my way, because I'm about to be Bob's Burger Queen.
Bro, I want to fuck Bob.
Well, I thought it would be you, Sean.
Alright, any more questions?
Can I ask Aiden a couple questions?
I guess,
What?
but actually, no, he's busy right now.
Aiden, do you want to be interviewed?
Wait, but before I say anything.
By the way, it's been recording for 21 minutes.
That's okay, I can edit it. Aiden,
Before I
Aiden.
answer, Tucker wants to be in the interview too.
Tucker does.
yeah, let's interview Tucker.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna
just
just
call him.
pause this recording right now and save it because it's been recording for almost
Carter, you can call
quarter
Tucker and
of
Tucker will be happy.
an
to do it.
hour now.
Oh, wow. Just start a new recording then.
Oh, the beach job.
So Tucker's... Oh, what?
Damn.
Tucker, you there?
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you're a little bit
Tucker.
closer to the phone. It's a little bit hard for.
Yeah,
The mic.
honestly, I couldn't hear you. So, just, Tucker, start by saying your name, including last name. You can add a middle name if you want. And say what school you go to. So say, I'm Tuker Heil and I go to...
Bro, I don't know if you know or you're joking, but that's not how you pronounce my last name.
Isn't it Hale?
Yeah, I'm just joking, bro.
No, it's not.
No, I'm
Hale,
kidding. It's
okay?
Heel. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's
No,
Heil.
bro.
I'm just joking, bro.
You
Bro.
either.
I'm joking again.
Bro, we're joking. How do you not know we're joking? Bro, I've known you for these years. You think I'm just saying?
Yeah, do you think I'm just... Bro.
Okay, just go. Just hurry up, though. Hurry up, Tucker.
There's your hint. There's your hint. It's German.
What's the gayest music I could find?
Okay, so
Aiden.
basically...
Aiden, bro. What's the gayest music I can find?
Oh, here it is.
You said that before. What's the gayest music I can find?
Bro. Aiden's interview is going to be great. We're going to interview him. We'll be like, so Aiden, what's your name? And he'll just be like, bro, I'm Aiden, and I'm a gamer, bro.
I'm a gamer.
And
I'm a single.
a single, ready to mingle, shark furry.
I have no idea what I just said though.
He's gonna be like, hi, my name's Aiden, also known as Alpha Male.
Also known as Alpha Male.
Wait, also knows what?
My name's Aiden. I have a really big cock.
Bro, your guys is so bigger.
My alter ego's Dire Wolf.
My alter ego's Dire Wolf, guys. Don't forget, he's also bi.
Call me Night
Or I guess he's gay now, I don't know.
No, he's bipolar, bro.
Oh yeah, bi.
All this time when he said he was bi, he meant he was bipolar,
The
bro.
whole time.
Seriously, how did you not know that?
Hey, I did not know that. I did not know that at all. Did you know
I'm
that?
about to beat it. What? That's bipolar?
Okay, so Tucker,
Okay.
just say
Okay.
your name and then what school you go to, and you're great.
Actually, I should listen to Suicide Boys. Hold on.
Bro.
Hey, bitch, I'm trying
Aiden.
to listen to Suicide
Aiden.
Boys.
Oh, serious, Aiden, stop
Suicide.
talking. We're trying to record something.
Aiden, come on.
Okay, Tucker.
Tuker Heil, and I go to Cheyenne.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Aiden,
Tucker,
Jesus.
let me get the old notes. Let me get the old notes out. What do you usually do in the production of a film?
Sex?
Mostly do the acting in the films and help with the production of the film, such as editing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a lot of editing.
Gavin, which of the movies have you been in, and what were their genre? You were just in one, basically.
So much.
They Came from the Attic, which was a horror and sci-fi movie. Maybe even
Yeah, I'd say horror sci-fi.
Yeah,
maybe even drama.
that's true, drama.
And Tucker, what do you think makes a person want to create?
Like create a movie or create.
Create in general, I think is what he means.
Yeah, create in general would work.
Well, maybe like a spark or something like that of somebody who sees something in their childhood and thinks that's what I want to do when I grow up.
That's true.
Or
Yeah,
Yeah. That is true.
that's really solid.
That is solid.
I like that.
Solid as my cock, actually.
Seriously though, that's actually pretty solid.
Yeah, and why do you think people want to share their creation with the world?
Probably to show that they have that they have something to offer, something to, like they need to show and express how big they are, or maybe
Yeah,
they're
I can see that.
discovered something.
I'm not just gonna sit here this
They want
awkward.
to show their dick off.
Like I'm not just gonna like not say anything. It's supposed to be like kind of like a podcast type thing. So
Alright, titles and this was
yeah. Anyways, next question. Do you think working with friends makes it better or worse?
You know, I think it has its benefits and its. I think it can go both ways. I mean, there's the benefits would be you're having a great time. There's never a downside to hanging out with friends, but I'd say it makes it difficult to get the production done because you're always goofing off and you aren't actually focusing on the goal, but you're focusing on
having
hanging
sex.
Third circle, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would agree with both of you.
I need to show you
especially
this.
what Gavin said.
I need to show you the screenshot we have of Ryan.
Can't wait to do that next semester.
Tucker, another great question I'd love to ask you is, since movies are a collaborative effort, how do you think all of these ideas, how do you think they all come together to change the original idea? Like when you have one person that has an idea and then him and his crew make the movie, how do you think that changes the idea at the end?
I'd say it could spark ideas like I was saying before. You could spark ideas such as like, hey, maybe we can move this into this direction to make it more appeasing to the audience. So it's not like a straight up boring movie. We can add a little feedback to the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because I also feel like sometimes like someone's got like an idea and they're like, bro, this is gonna be so cool, and everybody else is like, that idea is shit.
Well, I mean, sometimes the
It's
idea
like-
can like help benefit the movie.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say I bet that's how some of the movies were downfall. I mean, things such as Anaconda, I believe that it wasn't a bad movie, it's just the way they played it out was horrible. Like,
Yeah.
the way they made it play out made it a horrible movie. The CGI, they didn't put their time and effort into the movie. They just were like, let's throw a bunch of people together and put a low budget amount of money.
They need to put effort into it, for it to really be like an actual good movie.
Yeah. That's why like Back to the Future was a thing. I mean, yes, it was a low budget movie, but they actually put their effort into it.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
That's true.
Small movie.
Yeah. What do you think makes a movie great?
I think it has to do with the audience and people liking it. I'd say to make it a good movie, it really depends on how the viewer looks at it. For some people think Star Wars is one of the worst movies out there, and then there's other people that think it's amazing. It's really if it hits to the viewer's heart. Like for you, Carter, your movie you think is great because it fits your needs. It fits exactly how the movie plays out, like an old movie. which makes it, a good movie. So people who really like old movies would love it.
Yeah.
But people who are
that's true.
newer generation might not like it, like Tyler. Fucking ass.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
It's a completely subjective thing, where what one person thinks is great is completely different from what other people say.
Exactly.
Because
I was fast.
greatness comes within us.
Yes, it does. It really depends. Like, your movie could have blown up, but it just didn't. I think it just didn't.
It didn't really hit the right audience, especially considering the time now, like compared,
Yeah, if you did it back then, I think it would be people would be all over it. Like back in before COVID, I feel like people would have actually liked it because people in COVID had
During
less
COVID,
expectations.
people, I was gonna say.
That's actually a good point. I never thought about that.
Because during COVID, everybody was on their cellular device. So I'd say if you did it then, it would have been a big hit because it's like, well, there's not much things being produced during that, so why not resort to YouTube and look at some little skits or movies that people produced.
Yeah, that is true.
But we kind of did it outside of COVID, so it didn't hit because people are getting out, they want to explore.
Yeah. Especially when that was during the time when the pandemic was ending and all that, so people wanted to.
Yeah. Like nowadays, we don't talk about COVID anymore. We talk about influenza. Nobody cares about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that just recently. That the last time I heard somebody talk about COVID was 3 months ago, and now it's just influenza.
When you think about it, they came from the attic. I didn't even mean for this to happen, but it's kind of the guy's in his house all day. It's almost like he's quarantining. It's like
I never thought of that either.
Yeah, it's like the average day quarantining in 2020.
You could have just made it your friend. The guy died of COVID.
Yeah.
He just got COVID and then his brain got all messed up from COVID. That's really what happened.
Yeah. Something I do really like about the movie we made is, you don't know really if this is actually happening or if it's all in his head because he's not interacting with other people. Exactly. But then at the end of the day, because it's all contained within his house, it doesn't really matter if it's going on in his head or not. What matters is what you believe.
Exactly. I like that.
A good comment to that is I've noticed that in some movies, like Better Off Dead, this kid portrays a bunch of things like his girlfriend. He's losing his girlfriend, and so he portrays his photos saying, "You're nothing. You just lost your girl, and you're gonna let her take you like that." And then he starts yelling at his own hate picture because he thinks it's real. And then you're like, wait, this guy's just an idiot.
Yeah.
He's stuck in his own head.
I feel like
throughout the entire movie, you can actually see it. Like one of the parts, his mom's cooking food, and then he portrays it as an octopus coming out of the cook pot, and you're like, well, obviously this isn't actually real. It's just his head.
This is actually a really good interview. I'm kind of just with Gavin. I had notes.
Yeah,
I was sticking to the notes.
Yeah, you have to be more unique.
I didn't plan to interview Tucker, so I'm just kind of winging it, and it's actually going together really well.
Yeah, it's better if you ask more unique questions.
Yeah.
Like it.
Tucker, do you have any stories about making movies? Your experience in making movies?
Oh God. I remember when we made that knockoff horror movie back in freshman year. That was a big thing. I remember that was so fun to create. I remember we were going to add a sequel, but we didn't ever get to that. And I'm kind of upset we never got to that because that was actually really fun. I think we actually had more fun with that one than we did with.
We had way more fun doing that one.
I remember that. I remember doing those things. Like the label.
We were just doing it to be fun. It was just something to do to pass the time.
That's true.
It's like Space. It wasn't a serious movie. It was just a joke. It was just to make people laugh.
Yeah.
There's plenty of examples of movies that you're just like, okay, they didn't actually want to make a movie. Like they just were like The Rubber. That movie was literally just.
That was a scary movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
That was pretty scary.
That movie was so scary.
They just threw together.
Remember when we asked Aiden if he watched the movie, and he's like, "Oh, that movie." That was so
Oh yeah, I watched that last week. What about that new Bangkok? Oh yeah, I just watched that today.
I just
I like
watched.
the part where she took a shower.
I love the part where everybody died.
I like the part where they were in a desert. It was so cool.
Well, there's just those little movies that people make that are just so. Like the one we made in freshman year, it was obviously a joke. We weren't putting our.
It was
actual
hilarious.
It's a lot like Scary Movie.
It was
the
so
movie
fun
Scary
making
Movie.
too. Like, God.
It's just a little funny little skit for people to watch and laugh.
Yeah.
Do you think it's better when films aren't trying to be anything special? Like, do you think that when films aren't trying to be the next big thing, they kind of end up becoming better?
You know, that's kind of how Star Wars played out. They didn't really want to make a huge thing out of it. They just were going to make one movie and they were done. I watched a documentary on movies once where a bunch of movies such as like Friday the 13th, Star Wars, Nightmare on Elm Street, they were all just one movie things, and then the producers saw that people were coming in, they're like, why does everybody like this? It suits people's needs. So they're like, why not make another one? Why don't we make people happy and make another one? If people like it so much. Like, if you made a movie on literally Cowboys versus Aliens, that got a lot of money, a very underrated movie, got a lot of money, and you're like, well, how can that be a good movie? I mean, it's literally about cowboys fighting aliens. It sounds like something a kid comes up with. But apparently it got a lot of money.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't know if it like actually hits the right audience, and when it does, it usually just shocks you.
Some people like comedy, some people like horror, some people like old-fashioned movies, some people like...
Some people like furries.
Some people like cocks.
Yeah, Aiden God, no.
Aiden.
Wouldn't it be funny if, as we have the interview go, it's like, Tucker's like, some people like this and that, and every time he says something, I just bleep it out, so it makes it sound like it's something dirty.
Some people like it. Some people like this, and then you just cut it right, and then it actually goes really bad. Some people like Jewish films, and then that one's not bleep. But yeah, like, All Quiet on the Western Front, my teacher recommended to watch it, and apparently it's like the #1 film on Netflix currently. And I was like, it's just a regular World War I movie, what's so special about it? And then I watched it fully through, and I was like, I'm not a World War, or like a war movie fan, but that was an actual decent film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be a fan of one thing to not enjoy a certain film, you know?
I mean, yeah, you can not be a fan of anything, and you can still like the movie. I mean, I don't like fully action-packed movies, but things like Star Wars and Indiana Jones were like a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a action-packed
Good
like,
movies.
I thought that the movie like Red
Yeah,
Notice,
those are good.
I thought that was horrible because it's
Yeah.
punch back and punch. But like things like certain movies just hit, and then you're like, oh, that's actually good. Why? Like, it's just certain audiences, like certain movies just hit. Like Bird Box, nobody thought that would. Like it started off small.
I remember when that. Yeah, I remember when that.
Same thing with like things like what is it called? That Korean movie with the
Squid Game?
Squid Game, yeah. That
Oh,
was like
yeah.
a stupid movie. Like nobody talked about it until like the COVID year. Like I looked it up and it wasn't produced. Like it became a huge trend 3 months after.
That just goes to show that during the COVID pandemic, people didn't know what to do, so they watched stuff like that.
I mean, there was
Yeah.
movies. There was like no. If you've noticed, there's movies that have been dropping downhill. Marvel,
DC.
freaking. Also, a bunch of studios have been dropping. I went back to when I was younger. I watched the CW Flash, and by God, the CGI is so bad now. It's almost laughable. It's like something out of Back to the Future.
Yeah,
It's
I like
just
the old
Yeah.
classic CGI. I don't know.
Yeah, just look it up. Look up the Flash CGI then and now, and you'll just see the difference. It's almost laughable.
Yeah. By the way, what you were talking about earlier with like action movies like Red Notice and how they're just missing something that other movies have too. Like
Yeah.
other movies have something that those movies have. I feel
Squid
like
Game
it's
but it just didn't portray like the ending. He should have just grabbed the money and left, but he decided to come back, which made no sense. Like there's plenty of plot holes to movies, but there's certain ones that you just look at and you're like, why would you ever do that?
yeah. I feel like with a lot of movies, like big spectacle films, it's like they're trying to impress you by showing you all these action scenes, but you go away from it and you feel nothing, and it's like
Exactly.
it's like what actually did I watch? I just watched explosions for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion, I think Top Gun's a horrible movie.
I do too.
It's too
It's overrated. Yeah, I gotta
all
say.
about aviation. Like, it's a huge thing in America, yeah, but like, you see a movie in like Brazil, they're gonna look at Top Gun and be like, yeah, that movie.
I know about Brazil, Gavin.
Yeah, he knows a lot about Brazil.
I know a lot about Brazil. You know me, Messi and Ronaldo. We go way back.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, certain movies people love, like, people, and same thing with like video games and stuff. Like, people love, like NBA. People like Madden, and I'm like, why would you like just over and over the same thing? Like the first Top Gun and the second Top Gun were basically the same thing. There's no difference.
Yeah. I feel like
It just hit the right audience, really.
yeah. I feel like people go to the movies, they go to be entertained, they go to have fun, but I think they go to see themselves, to see other people, characters on the screen, and to see themselves in those characters. And if you can't feel anything for those characters, you can't feel anything for the film.
I mean, yeah.
Exactly. You gotta feel like the emotion that the character's going through.
Yeah,
in
you
a
gotta
way.
feel for the emotion, and certain action movies you just look at that and you're like, how could someone ever be in that place? How could somebody like
Yeah.
do that? It's
Look
almost
at their
unreal.
perspective, you know.
Like, yes, things like Star Wars, you're like, you can never be in that situation, but it
I mean, yeah, no.
because it's never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you could make a movie about anything as long as the characters are interesting, or as long as there's enough for the audience to think. It keeps them preoccupied. They're thinking about something. They're engaged in the film. It's not just a bunch of nothing going on, just TV static. It's like they're actually engaged and they care about what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can make it about anything. Like, look at Rubber. It's just about a tire.
Yeah.
But people like that movie.
There's lots of benefactors to movies. Like, there's a huge in the production of a movie. Actors are one of the most crucial. Because if you hire somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio, you expect a good performance. But if you hire somebody who's probably been heard once, they're gonna be less noticeable. People are gonna be like, "Oh, I don't want to watch that movie."
Yeah, but that also does grow actors as a whole, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it promotes actors, but if you don't have like a good actor, it's not a good movie. Like people
At the same-
At the same, yeah, I mean, that's like
Yeah.
at the same time though. Like, how else is there gonna be like newer actors? You know, that's
Well,
out there in the world.
I get what you're saying, but like,
There,
there's not a good actor. I'm talking people like things like Anaconda.
Yeah, that's true. People won't like be as drawn to it if there's not like a famous actor
Yeah.
that's in it. You know.
I feel like it goes both ways because when you have a famous actor, people know who that actor is. They're a celebrity. They've known them usually for years. Some people have known them all their life. So they see them on screen, and it's like they know who they are. It's like, especially if they like their movies, it's like they're watching a friend on screen. So that automatically makes the character more likable.
Yeah.
And you know more about the character because you know more about the characters they play. But then if you have a character played by an unknown actor, they feel you're not watching it thinking that's Chris Pratt or that's Leonardo DiCaprio. You're watching it, you're thinking that's just a guy. That's just a guy living life.
Yeah.
And you're not taken out of the movie. So it goes both ways.
All right
That's
on
true.
the Western Front, I saw no familiar actors, and I was like, okay, this movie's either going to be really good or really bad. Because certain character performances really matter. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, everybody's going to love a movie with Kevin Hart because it's fun. But if it has somebody who's like a small actor, it's either gonna be a good movie or a bad movie depending on their first performance.
You know, that's the thing I love
That's
with
true.
like films is that like anyone could start a film, like literally anyone, any age.
Oh
Really?
yeah. Oh
and you can start small and end up becoming big and eventually end up being like a big actor. That's how that thing goes.
Another benefactor of having a good movie is CGI. If you don't have good CGI, the movie's gonna be bad. If it's not up to date, it will most likely be bad.
Yeah.
With most movies right now.
That's true.
Currently,
Well,
I was reading this documentary on Marvel Studios, and people are saying ever since Stan Lee died, and they hired a new
Marvel Boy Gabriel's gonna replace Stan Lee, so.
So they got a new CGI team. I heard my mom was
Bro,
talking about it.
bro, and how Gabriel said that he wanted to get the next Stan Lee.
Since they're so low on budget, they just switched to CGI entirely, and I'm like, well, that's why they're going downhill. They have the same actors. The only problem is their production quality is going down.
Yeah, it doesn't look as as it used to be.
They're losing their grip on it.
Yeah.
Yes, they're losing their grip on what would look good to an audience. What would look like a real explosion? What would look like an actual gunshot?
I feel like with so many CGI movies, they look good when you first see them at the theater, and then as time goes by and technology gets better, you realize how fake it is.
Yeah.
So every time there's the next big CGI, nowadays we have CGI and we think that looks amazing. But then in 10 years from now, we're going to see it and we're going to say, that looks fake.
Or
It's
like the next generation will look at things like Top Gun, the second Top Gun, and be like, that's so bad CGI, or that's so bad quality. And you'll be like, no, back in my day, this was perfect.
Yeah.
That can go for any film, so yeah.
It's extremely hard to get special effects that are timeless, where no matter how old the film is, you can watch it and go, that looks real, or I didn't even realize there was a special effect there. That's extremely hard.
Yeah.
There's certain movies like that you're like, huh, that really looked real, or that's...
Yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey, that's one where it was made in 1968, and it took 5 years to make, and it still looks like real outer space when you watch it.
I think that's why a lot of Bruce Lee films were really good, was because none of the things were stunt doubles. It was him.
Yeah, it's all real.
Exactly.
You could tell they're actually fighting.
That's why you're like, wow, that's actually real.
Because it is.
That's why people
did
like
a really good job,
because
though.
It's like
they're actually in this situation and it's not made up. They're actually choreographing a real fight without stunt double.
Yeah.
He literally died making his film.
Yeah. I mean, there was one part where
It just goes to show how real it was,
I think he's trying to jump from a chandelier and he falls. And he breaks his wrist and is covered in glass. That was all real. All blood. All real.
Yeah, that's actually how I broke my wrist.
Yeah, that's how Carter broke his wrist.
I thought it was.
See, that just goes to show that we don't fake stuff,
Remember?
No, okay. Well, actually, yeah, when you think about it. Like when you watch my movie, that
never
really
fake
funny
it.
part where I fall down the stairs, I actually threw my body down the
That's not
stairs.
fake.
I'm so stupid, bro.
We don't fake stuff.
And then
We never
I did
did.
it, and it looks funny.
Do you guys remember Hereditary? Remember when
Yeah,
he has
bring
that
your
scene
dick.
where he smacks his face? When he smashes his face against the
His
desk,
dick.
and there's-
I mean, death.
Yeah. Gavin.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm trying to say an actual thing. Well, he actually broke his nose in that thing.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Huh?
His nose. It was crazy.
Yeah, that film's
watched
amazing.
him think about it. And he had to go to a psychiatric ward to go about his mental health because he was suicidal. Apparently.
Especially,
Yeah. Really
I mean, you
sad
get to
stuff.
see that too at the end of the film. I mean,
Yeah, Gavin.
I would be
Remember
suicidal
Midsummer?
after seeing
Yeah.
that too.
All those people.
Gavin,
They were.
Remember Midsummer when they were all having sex?
Dude,
they
that was
actually
so
did that.
weird. They actually did that.
Yeah, that was all real. All that sex.
Why wasn't I invited to do that?
I'm actually in that.
Actually,
I did it for the movie.
I was actually in there.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, that was a good interview.
Actually,
It's
that
like
was
30 It's
solid.
like 37 minutes. I think Tucker's was better than Gavin's, honestly.
Yeah, but you asked way more questions than me earlier.
Well, that's because I had very thorough answers that are connected to other movies and.
Yeah, it's also better to interview more than one person at a time.
Yeah, that's true. Because three-way conversations are better with at least 3 people.
Yeah.
Because
if
you
you're
have
just talking
3
to one
different people
person,
bouncing things,
yeah.
bouncing comments back. Where when it's just 2 people, a lot of times like you're talking, and then both of you kind of don't know what to say, and then it's silent for a while.
Well, or you guys
and
disagree
then
on
you
the
think
same
of something
thing.
to say.
Yeah.
But when there are 3 people, it's less to worry about. It's less to juggle.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I feel like for our interview, it was so easy, like quick, because like you'd ask me a question, and then every time I would answer, you'd always have the same kind of answer. So like, yeah, you'd always just say yeah. There'd be no like talk in between.
Yeah,
So,
I just be like, yeah, I agree.
That's what
really
you do. That's what you do, bro. It's better to have someone else's like opinion on these things too. So that's what makes it more, more of a podcast than anything else.
Well, are you done recording?
Yeah, I'm about to stop right now.